Yo gamers, welcome back. We're still covering ADV Revival 2, and I wanted to record another set tonight. I thought this was noteworthy. We're in round 8 now of Swiss. Only 10 rounds. We're getting close to making the final bracket. This is Blanche versus Monchu, and I thought this is interesting because both these players made it all the way to round 8. Neither were seeded to do so. Blanche was almost seeded last, and my understanding is that after the first 100 or so of 700 entrants, there wasn't enough data to truly seed everybody. So I think there was some sort of randomness once you got past the first 100 or so entrants. But still, for two relatively unknown players to make it this far, with records of 5 and 2, that was noteworthy to me. And I really liked Blanche's custom avatar here as well. I will tell you that the loser of this is out of the entire event, and the winner is going to round 9. And they'll be so close to making the final bracket. It's an aggressive Jinx lead, everybody. Celebi's going to have to get out of the way. And a sub for Jinx, look at that. It outspeeds the Mag, and Calm Mind's up. And the Mag is also choosing to sub. This is interesting, a little bit stalematy. I kind of like Jinx's position here. And yeah, it can continue to try to get some more Calm Mind stacks. It gets through the Magneton sub and takes it Toxic. That's actually rather fortunate for the Mag. Putting it, oh my gosh, look at, even on a resist, that just destroys Magneton. This Jinx is on a timer. It is likely to outspeed the T-Tar, and we're getting the T-Tar out and tanking an Ice Beam on Suicune. Nice maneuvering by Monchu. This could be sub Suicune? No, it's going to be Metagross coming in on the lovely Kiss, and it lands. A lot of value from this Jinx. It's eliminated the Mag already. It's put a Metagross to sleep. It's continuing to chunk down this Suicune. And it's going to have one more turn to click a button. Ice Beam after Sand won't get there because heads up, rest click. Heads up, rest click from Monchu. We'll find a way to keep the Suicune alive. But at what cost? What comes in now to take advantage of this situation? Jirachi is just going to be Calm Minding up. Second Calm Mind user. And it doesn't look like Monchu brought Blissey. So I would expect a Doug here, which could be helpful to eliminate the Celebi. Maybe track the Suicune if you can bring it in on the right turn. T-Tar trying to avoid the burn and does so. And nice Leech Seed. Interestingly, this doesn't have leftovers, folks. This T-Tar could be Lum. It could be DD Lum. We may find out later. And another, yeah, Suicune on Blanche's side. This is as special offense gets. Big Ice Beam, Leech Seed coming down. Celebi, you imagine, has to get out of the way here. You wouldn't want to lose your entire Celebi in this spot. And Blanche is going to try to get ahead of the switch and finds another spot where this Jirachi can simply click Calm Mind. That Suicune hasn't spent any turns asleep yet. Every time it comes in, it is forced out immediately. T-Tar coming in. Again, we believe this could be DD Lum. It could be DDing here. No, simply clicking Earthquake. That's the only... maybe that's Choice Band, but I would think that Choice Band Earthquake would do a bit more than... what, 63 to Jirachi? Somebody can feel free to correct me in the comments. That's a Gyarados, though. That's going to finish off the Rachi. Gengar, of course, threatening Thunderbolt. Not a lot loves to come in here. Celebi can tank that hit, but it's getting outsped. Ice Beam, or I'm sorry, Ice Punch, of course. Incredibly common on Gengar sets. And there it is. Especially on, a team like this that's so special offense focused. I would be shocked if there wasn't a Doug in one of these last two spots. But the question is, what would the very last Mon be, folks? Still don't have much of a rock resist. Could always just be a Swampert. And aggressive Suicune, offensive Suicune with Ice Beam, Calm Mind, and Hydro Pump. Gyarados is going to take this opportunity to simply Dragon Dance up, but Roar. Perfect last move for that situation. Very, very nice by Blanche getting ahead of that DD Gyarados. That could have posed quite the threat. And Monchu Suicune, yet again, not able to find an opportunity to burn a sleep turn. And now, I even forgot about this, folks. Who else remembered? The Metagross is asleep from the Jinx's Lovely Kiss 25 turns ago. So, this Suicune can roar again. If I'm Monchu, you click a button, deal some damage to the Suicune. You know it doesn't have rest. You just have to take it down. Problem is 2 of your Mon are asleep. The Gyarados is going to be able to finish it off there. It has leftovers, so it can try to stay alive. You imagine, yeah, it's going to be scared out by the Gengar. And after Sand, that's it for Celebi. So not a lot of great options here. You could bring in the Metagross and hope to wake up. Thunderbolt not dealing all that much. And if you wake up, Meteor Mash should one-hit KO. So long as Monshu's meta can land it. Another Thunderbolt. Here's the wake up. Lands the Meteor Mash, and after Sand, that will do it for the Gengar. Only 2 Mon remaining. Monshu's really brought this back. Here's the Doug. It was in the back all along, of course. Monshu probably wishing they had brought Blissey all along. That would have made a lot of these threats much easier to deal with. Gyarados, perfect bring it. And last revealed to be a T-Tar of Blanche's own. Earthquake won't get there. And T-Tar's going to Dragon Dance up, but you're still going to get outsped, aren't you? Oh my god, it's Salic! What? I've never seen this. I've never seen DD Salic T-Tar. Beautifully done by Blanche, folks. The Salic helped it outspeed the Gyarados. This Suicune. Oh, it's Sleep Talk. But the Doug, can it deal 49% with Choice Band Earthquake? I imagine it can. It barely doesn't get there. What does Sleep Talk hit? It's Surf! Monshu with the comeback. Despite a really interesting and perfectly executed Salic Berry Dragon Dance Tyranitar. Has anybody else seen that? I haven't seen it. That was shocking. It all clicked for me in a moment. I was like, why are you Dragon Dancing in the face of this Gyarados? You're still going to be outsped. Gyarados hit it perfectly into range. Wow. And Monshu with the sorry in the... Yeah, what a game. What a match. We got to dive into game 2, folks. A Medi lead. Probably my favorite Pokemon in ADVOU. Simply clicking Focus Punch. And yeah, from my experience, I feel like a Ghost type, like a Gengar, one of the most common switch-ins to a lead Medi. And it's not Choice Band, it's just clicking separate buttons, getting a special defense drop. Not overly likely to be impactful or meaningful, folks. But we're getting the Magneton in on what I imagine is an HP Ghost or an HP Bug from Fortress, but trapping it with the Magneton HP Fire will easily eliminate it. Salaman's coming in on what they're hoping to be an Earthquake. Nice mid-ground from Monshu. Heads up Double Edge. That's not going to do all that much to the Mag. That's not going to get it from 83%, folks. So Monshu really betting on Blanche wanting to keep the Mag alive. Anyway, here we are. Metagross versus Swampert. Blanche again bringing a Suicune. And this seems to be a bit more of a standard TSS, yeah, with Blissey. A lot of high-tier Mon on Monshu's side. Blissey trying to be the answer to Calm Mind Suicune. Suicune is actually going to get out of there very quickly. Seismic Toss threatening a 2-hit KO. What can Meta do? Meta is clicking Meteor Mash on a Gengar, and Monshu has to sack the entire Gengar just to keep the Blissey alive. The Blissey is likely necessary to try to deal with the Suicune. Swampert eliminates the Metagross. That is helpful. That's one less Mon that can really pressure this Blissey. We haven't seen Salamence click anything, but if the Salamence is mixed, it might not have that much to pressure Blissey overly effectively well. Brick Break on the Swampert, and Earthquake's doing a huge chunk. Salic Berry here. This is the last turn that Medicham can click anything. It's going to die the next time it comes into Sandchip. So I'm a bit surprised that Blanche is not just simply clicking a button there and taking some value. Yeah, that's a bit surprising to me. And this is lead Pursuit Tar, it appears. I don't know that it is overly favored in a matchup against Snorlax. And just electing to continue to crunch this thing down. Monshu happy to... Oh my gosh, and the T-Tar barely lives on 1%. That's crazy. And we will be sacking the Medicham here. Where will Blanche be going? The Magneton's coming in. And it has no leftovers. Blissey easily comes in and tanks that Thunderbolt. Perhaps the Mag is going to be clicking Toxic. No, we're just getting the Snorlax in. It's Wish Blissey. And that could heal up the Swampert quite nicely. The T-Tar could try to come in, but at 13%, you imagine that most moves are gonna. Oh, and that's a nice paralysis to have for Blanched, especially if you're trying to force a game 3 and stay alive in this tournament. Earthquake dealing exactly 30%. Is Blanche gonna elect to explode here? He does. Eliminates the Swampert, and 3 Mons left on both sides. Blissey versus Mag. And missing the Toxic. Wish coming down next turn. I don't imagine you try to heal up the T-Tar. Yeah, that Thunderbolt was designed to deny the opportunity for Manchu to try to get more value out of the T-Tar. And it's Rain Dance eliminating the Sand and perhaps daring the T-Tar to come back in. Besides McToss, I had no idea that Magneton had such a low amount of health. That did 42%. Suicune is here and is going to Calm Mind up. It will outspeed the T-Tar. So no more Rain Dance user unless somehow you slotted Rain Dance on Suicune, but it usually there's already so many different options competing for that 4th slot. Suicune is just going to try to win the game from this position, Calm Minding up. If Manchu, even if Manchu's Blissey drops to this, if you can get the Suicune's health sufficiently low, Arrow can try to sweep with Rock Slide. Because the Salamence, even after Intimidate, only 53%. And Blanche going for Ice Beam freezes. Maybe thinking that the Arrow would come in. Maybe trying to deny the Arrow. And no, still clicking Ice Beam. When Surf would surely do more damage. Interesting spot here. And the Arrow finally does come in on the Ice Beam. Wow. 3 Ice Beams in a row. Manchu saying there's no way you're doing it again. You're going to rest here. You're going to click Calm Mind again. And Blanche simply just continuing to fire him off. Forcing a game 3. Well played. Well played. And it's another lead Jinx. Versus T-Tar. Starmie going to come in with Natural Cure. And nice sub-click. Again, just subbing up. In the face of a Mon that you're prepared to outspeed. Surf is going to happen. Missing the lovely Kiss. And is that going to force the Jinx out? Do you ever just sack it here? Taking a Thunder Wave and getting full para. Devastating for Blanche. Not the start that they wanted. Manchu bringing a Pokemon that can pretty easily deal with this. And this must be a defensive Starmie with, Thunder Wave, and the Surf did not deal all that much to the Jinx. And a crit Ice Beam doing quite a bit more than you might have expected against the Starmie. Manchu will be switching out to the meta. Would have been a crazy lovely Kiss turn to just correctly predict that. But at this point, you just have to sack the Jinx. It's low health. It's frail. It's paralyzed. It's getting outsped by everything. It's incredibly difficult to find another opportunity for it to really do much later in the game. Blissey coming in to tank the Will-O-Wisp, and Manchu in a good spot, I feel, folks. Sing Blissey, by the way. Wow. This is crazy. The Jinx is gone, achieved basically no value. This Tyranitar has been put to sleep, and Manchu going to use the opportunity to get some spikes up. Jirachi coming in, likely to threaten, Thunderbolt or Fire Punch. Oh, it's Thief Scarm. No more leftovers for the Jirachi. Look at these brings from Manchu. Oh, huge burn. Enormous burn. We put a timer on the Skarmory. That's a reprieve for Blanche. They needed something to go their way. They finally get it. Blissey should easily deal with the Blissey, barring a freeze. Does not get it. And what is in the back for these players? Something I'm wondering. T-Tar going to try to use the Blissey as an opportunity to wake up. It has spent 1 turn asleep so far. But can you stay here in the face of meta? What will meta decide to click? Just does send the Meteor Mash, no attack raise. But yeah, Manchu in a great spot. You've got a spike. You've eliminated a threat. You've put another threat to sleep. Your Skarm doesn't have a lot of health, and it's burned. So not overly well positioned to get additional spikes. I wouldn't expect this Starmie to have Thunderbolt. Oh, and it's Doug Trio coming in on the recover. I think you can just outright one-hit KO. hard switching to the Suicune. I guess Blanche knows the Doug and calced it. This is a defensive Starmie after all, folks. So maybe from full health, it doesn't get there. Blanche could have been trying to pivot the Doug in on a Thunder Wave, but yeah, look at this Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, Roar. Excuse me. You would imagine last has to be Calm Mind. So there's no rest in all likelihood coming to save the status on that Suicune. And slowly but surely, it just feels like Manchu has complete control. Suicune stepping on a spike, going down to 18%, and will be dead to sand. Starmie still at full health. Gengar has to come in, and it actually gets outsped by the Starmie. I'm gonna have to look this up. They have very similar base speeds. 350. Oh, the Starmie actually has a higher base speed, folks. So I guess that's not all that surprising. Thunderbolt threatening a 2-hit KO, but yeah, Starmie can just fish for these full paras, and Manchu getting slightly lucky here. Surf a 2-hit KO from that position. And do you just sack the Gengar? Again, it's just like the Jinx. All of Blanche's Pokemon are getting statused and completely debilitated. The Doug will finally be able to revenge kill the Starmie, but that's only the first kill of the game for Blanche. And Blanche trying to sack the Doug or just wait out burn turns. I actually kind of like it. I mean, you're allowing the Skarm to get 2 additional spikes, but the T-Tar's asleep. The Jirachi, fortunately, the one saving grace for Blanche is this Jirachi is very healthy. The Starmie is, I think, one of the only things here that should be able to outspeed it. And Doug is here. This is somewhat fortunate because the Doug will outspeed things. It hasn't clicked a button yet. We're going to Spike Sack the T-Tar to get the Jirachi in on the Blissey so that we can click Calm Mind. The Skarmory's here, so no more Roar. But the Bliss still has Sing, and nothing's asleep anymore. Manchu electing to simply Seismic Toss for 25%. And Psychic from Blanche. Wondering what the thought process was there. Maybe the Jirachi just doesn't have healing. Because, yeah, that's it. The Rachi's dead. And Doug is technically alive. You're going to need many Earthquake crits. That's one. You might not have needed that crit. But you're going to need a crit here. The Metagross is at 100%. And, yeah, just doesn't get there. Good stuff to Manchu. Moving on to round 9. They're 2 wins away from making it to the bracket. I don't know how many people are going to be in the final bracket. I would guess it would be like 32, 64 at most. But to make it this far, you've outplaced the vast majority of the 700 entrants. I believe this is the largest ADV OU tournament of all time. So Manchu making a name for themselves, as well as Blanche, by the way. Making it all the way to round 8. That's further than I got. I'll tell you that, folks. I was eliminated at round 6 myself. But thanks again for watching all these sets. Gonna keep trying to post some more, and I have some cool things on the horizon that I'm planning to do, especially once we get to the tournament. Because once we get to the final bracket, everybody, the Revival Tournaments channel is going to be posting commentated sets of every single match that happens. So I'll no longer be doing that, but I have other ideas for how I can contribute to covering the tournament in a fun, unique, and exciting way. And with that, I am going to get out of here, but thanks again so much, and we'll see you next time.